Plantains are one of the major staple crops consumed in Ghana, with about 4.7 million metric tons annual capacity. In many Ghanaian homes, plantains can be either consumed as ampesi or fried for your favorite plantains and beans, and also an essential ingredient in making fufu. In today's episode of The Food Chain, we take a look at some indigenous farming methods farmers can adopt in maximizing plantain production while they gain some livelihood support and also maintain the country's food security. My name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku. Stay with us. That's John Asamoah, a 50-year-old plantain farmer at Agogo in the Setua district of the Ashanti region. He tells me how he has cultivated his plantain in the past years, but has failed to yield bountiful harvest.
Abia sasene yede ande wude faso wonna musa wude bese 600 fase mu 100 die etimi wuto 1000 20 million ti fase wufuruma okuya na yoka munya hwe su fuse de wakoto no wajin sikadada nti haye de bia na problem wum so still wuda su gusu untimi nyai.
Today, he is joining his fellow farmers from other parts of the region in an anxious quest for solutions to their dwindling plantain harvests.
So, kwakutu more balance. Bona emwa se akokono. Ehhehha asie bona kakape enso. Enso kakape ne de mehu ne se ne kum akokono na ewo mwa no. Ekum emwa no. Ewo asie ne mame. Eti sa no kodua more balance hu se tokro na me twa eso. Na me de ahyefo.
Na fi utimi twa.
I feel me trouble there about 100.
When you also
about your daddy, Minya Kola. It say, and my area will book Kola Molbana. If you are a core, this is so. Now will not have back pay in a triaso. Mebaka, Mebaka is some Moroba, Moroba Bako, or more kind Moroba 50, you go to 50, a 1 million.
And it could go on so. You want to go for to do on our pro. So what did the Michona say? Ube any adina before be so we do no kwa na bia fifi a wutwo mu anabu wo sa de kwhye ho kra na intimi san fifi biem but we ya na zo no a wo roba mu de wo fa wan no a wo de kwhye ho a be bo sense na e bo no egu o mebi fifiri esay no.
Plantains are one of Ghana's mainstay crops used in various local delicacies. The country's annual production of the crop is pegged at about 4.7 million metric tons, with about 85 kilograms per capita consumption. The crop has, however, seen dwindling production capacity recently, owing to various farming challenges. Pests and diseases and the lack of good quality planting materials, suckers, are few of the major production constraints. Dr. Beloved Mensah Jomeku and Dr. Isaac Osei-Bonsu are research scientists at the Crops Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Most often, when the season starts, because of the prolonged dry season, farmers complain of inadequate planting material for expanding their farms. Besides that, some farmers harvest from their old fields and establish new farms without preparing the material. So they carry a lot of pests, nematodes and weevils to their new farms. And with that, they plant and they have, some of them harvest only once. From the second year, the farm is destroyed because they increase the inoculum level of the pest. So plantain farm, which should last for about 4 years, will last for 2 years. And because of that, some of the farmers get discouraged.
The pests are found in the roots as well as the corms. So they are in the soil, they burrow into the corms of these suckers. So the thing is that the farmers can actually help to reduce this spread of disease, but they have to do something that they don't do. They are supposed to trim off all the roots as well as some flesh from the corn before they plant it. But the farmers, as soon as they buy the suckers, they just go to the field and plant, because of course it's an extra work for them that they don't want to do. And so that actually ends up spreading diseases as well as even pests.
These challenges over time affect the livelihood of farmers.
It's always been difficult for farmers to have high quality planting materials of those crops to plant. And then once they keep recycling the same daughters or let me say children that were produced by the previous crops to expand or plant the next cropping season, the more the buildup of disease and pests occurs in the fields. And this leads to reducing yield and also cost of production. And at the end, over time, the livelihood of the farmer is not improved.
But through a simple and clean cultivation technology, farmers can maximize their yields to enhance their income earnings. John and his fellow farmers are being exposed to these indigenous farming techniques at the Crops Research Institute to end their days of woes in poor harvests.
The pests and diseases that they carry to their own fields, we decided to come out with this technology where you can take one sucker from your own farm, prepare it, bury it in sawdust, then you can generate several from one sucker. Because every plantain plant produces at least 42 leaves. The 42nd leaf is the fruit. And it means that every leaf has a bud which should become a sucker for them. But you don't see that is in nature. By the time you harvest your plantain, you may have about 12 suckers around the mother. And this is because there is a chemical or a hormone in the plant which will not allow others to come. So when you destroy that chemical, then you are exploring or exploiting the potential, the full potential of the sucker.
Under the seed system innovation for vegetatively propagated crops in Africa, the suckers, which are the main planting material for plantains, are kept free from pests for healthy and bountiful harvest. Dr. Jomeko explains the process in developing a pest-free and viable sucker for planting through macro-propagation.
Before you go into this technology, go take sucker from your old field, or a farmer, take sucker from your mother plant. Make sure that there is enough base. Take off the leaf, the roots, to make sure that there is no weevil larva feeding on the base. You take off all the roots, then you take off the leaf sheaths to expose the axillary buds. Then after that, when you get to the meristematic region, the growing point, you insert a knife. There is a hormone in it which do not allow a lot of suckers to come around the mother. You do that, then you insert the knife and make a cross to destroy that hormone. You bury it in sawdust, 3 centimeters into the sawdust. You water it, cover it with transparent polish sheet. After 3 weeks, they will sprout and you start harvesting and transplanting in polybags. So when the plant is sprouting from the mother, there's no nutrient in the sawdust. So they must manufacture food through photosynthesis, and they need the sunlight. Yes, that is why you use transparent polish sheet to cover, so that they can grow faster for you to harvest.
Applying the technique is one of the surest ways of obtaining a great harvest.
One sucker is giving you between, let's say, 20 to 100 or 150, and you sell one seedling, even 3 seeds, you are in business. One. Instead of carrying one big sucker and go and put in your farm, you will not get the same number. Besides that, when you take a sucker and go and put in, it takes 1 month, 4 weeks before the leaves will start coming, because the roots must come first. That is what we call the lag phase. But when you take it from the nursery seedling, it starts growing immediately. But if you take conventional sucker where you do the paring, the roots will come after 4 weeks, and you realize that you are not in business. The one you take from the seedling will mature, you harvest, even sometimes 4 weeks, 3 months before that one will mature for you to harvest. So, and in plantain, time is a factor. Because if you harvest yours lean season, the high price season, and 2 weeks before somebody goes to harvest, you are in business.
Each plantain mother plant can provide maybe about 10 suckers, but over a period of time, right? But and so that actually also limits the availability of suckers. Recently, there was this woman who came here telling that she has prepared her land, but now she's not getting suckers to buy because the production capacity of these suckers is very minimal. But this new seed formats, you're actually able to get upwards of, depending on how well you do it, you can get at least 10 and about 150, up to about 150 seedlings from just one sucker. Okay, so that actually ensure that you can actually increase, like basically, you can say 10x or even 100x your output in terms of seedlings that you can get from each individual sucker or each individual sucker, right? And so the new seed formats, now we are exposing the farmers to it. We want them to learn how to do it. Of course, we can do it and then decide to sell the sucker or the seedlings to them, but we also want them to learn, because once they learn, they can be also be able to produce the seedlings, and then that will be another source of income for them, because they can sell the seedlings to the other farmers who are also interested in it. The farmers themselves can use the seedlings on their farm, as well as sell the extra seedlings that they produce to other farmers, thereby expanding their source of income.
Despite these technologies, Ghana's reliance on seasonal rains is a bane to production. Many plantain farms witnessed low production due to the reduced rainfall, primarily fueled by the changing climate.
I say, because honey bag, catty, and to which I cry the case couldn't do the way, and to which I yanto, who about years I cry yanto, nay, with the baby ukopa consumes the body baby chroma my jago. Because they see what I know any and also as was a sana and cutting catty service and yansu. Until man bassa.
In Ghana, the plantains are harvested for the markets in 2 separate seasons, the lean and the major season. The commodity is high priced during the lean seasons between May and August, but market centers witness a glut of the crop during the last quarter of the year.
The harmattan was very severe. The world is even reporting that we experienced the highest temperature in 2024. In human history. This year has been the highest temperature. That was in February. And because of that, there was severe dehydration of the plantains. So most of them died. Those that didn't die, they have to sprout again from the base. So you realize that this year we had very severe lean season of plantain. That is May, June, July, August. So we are now entering the glut season. So now plantain is coming on the market and the price has gone down. It will continue to go down till December. And one bunch could take about 10 cedis, 5 cedis. Yeah, especially when we get to Christmas time, the prices will go down. We pray that the harmattan will not come like that again. Then we will have glut throughout the year. Then the price will be stable. Apart from that, then we are going to experience another lean season of plantain, when plantain will become very expensive during May, June, July. Because most often, when the harmattan comes and drains them, dehydrates them, those that may be in fruit, when the rain starts, it comes with storm. Then they will lodge.
Dr. Jomeku advises the use of supplementary irrigation systems to ensure all year-round production.
Ideally, if they can afford, they should get supplementary irrigation systems. That is where they can make money. A farmer can decide to target the lean season of plantain. We plant in July and use supplementary irrigation during the dry season. And by April, May, they are in fruit. Then you harvest June, July, August and make a hell of money. He can also decide to do high population density per hectare, because at that time, nobody is looking at the size of the bunch. If you do the calculation, you realize that if you increase the population and you harvest, it equates or annuls the normal planting distance, because every hectare is supposed to take 1,667 plants. But if you increase it to 2,500, it will outwit the 1,667 population, and you make your money. Then you also manage the suckers around the mother, because our study shows that if you plant your plantain, if you harvest the mother, the follower, you harvest it after 4 to 6 months. Then the one that follows, you also you harvest it 4 months after the second one. That's the second ratoon. Okay. Now, if you manage, you can avoid the glut season. So you look at it, this one is the first follower. So when I harvest this in May, the next one will come after 6 months or 4 months to 6 months. So around September, I'm harvesting it. So the one that will follow 4 months, so it will get into September, December, January. No, so I'll take that one off. The one that follows that one, 4 months. So January, February, March, April. Then I will keep that one. Then you do that, you are in business.
The vegetatively propagated crop sector is one of the horticultural sectors of the agric landscape, which is rarely explored or invested in. Experts in the space are calling for investments and want critical attention paid to the sector.
Surprisingly, they have grains board. They have a board for grains and seeds, but the vegetatively propagated materials, no. Now, there is no standard for the experts to go and inspect the nurseries. Anytime you ask the powers that be, they said we are developing the protocol. But it's not coming. For about 10 years that I've been following this, we've not seen anything. So the vegetatively propagated materials, their cost is always high, because when you produce and the farmers don't come to buy, you still maintain them at the nursery. And the longer they stay, the higher the production cost. So if policy can come in that everybody must use quality vegetatively propagated materials, then we'll be having a headway.
If you look through our traditional food system, if you took maize away, rice has just catch up and is fast taking off. And if you took maize away, you always have to go for your fufu. Yeah. And then the fufu goes with cassava, either with yam or vegetative propagated, or cassava with cocoyam, also vegetative propagated, or all the ampesi that we eat, except plantain, including plantain, they are all vegetatively propagated. And so we haven't actually taken time to critically assess that aspect of our food system, and then to invest in it so that the indigeneity of our food system will be kept or maintained and sustained. And so I would want to appeal to government that as much as so much is being done to ensure that we have resilience in our food system, such that we can sustain or keep our food security or get to our food sufficiency level that we are hoping to get. The vegetative propagated crops are also very critical and important, and attention must also be given to those crops as well.
From where you sit, in case this is not done, what will happen?
In case this is not done, then we are going to have difficulty in our food system resilience, as I spoke about. And that will suggest that we are going to have difficulty in keeping our livelihood. Because, for example, just as I said, even if somebody is using maize, for example, to prepare banku, you need the cassava dough to at least make it get the consistency that you want. And so if we forget to also push or support the vegetative propagated crop, then traditionally the food that we serve on our tables, which make an average Ghanaian feels that he or she has eaten as a Ghanaian, we will likely one day not get to that point. And so that will certainly be where the nation will be.
With the adoption of these technologies supported by good rains and irrigation systems, the farmers are optimistic to push the country as the leading plantain producer after Uganda and Rwanda. With several technologies being churned out, these farmers are hoping they can easily access them while clamoring for investments in the sector. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion here on the food chain. Join me same time next week for another exciting episode. My name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.